How often have you thought, I'm a creative genius? Probably rarely or never, right? But why not? Don't you know you were born a creative genius? In 1968, researchers studied 1,600 children to assess their creative genius. They used a variant of the Torrance test for creative thinking for all these children to take four measures throughout their life at ages 3 to 5, 8 to 10, 13 to 15, and then finally a measure at the age of 25. Here's what they found. 98% of children between the ages of 3 and 5 scored as creative geniuses. 98%. Isn't that amazing? But by 8 to 10 years of age, after just a few years of school, only a third did. By 13 to 15, halfway through their public education, it had declined to just 1 in 10. For the final measure at 25, when these same kids were now young adults and gainfully employed, only 2% scored as creative geniuses. So what happened? How did 96% of those creative geniuses lose their creative genius? Did they lose their minds? Did school and employment create brain damage? My personal experience and academic research have revealed the answer. I have found it's because we fail to do two things in our daily lives. Ride the innovation cycle along the entire innovation life cycle. You are a creative genius, and I want to tell you how to regain it. Upcycle your mind. To rediscover our creative genius, we must upcycle our minds by riding the innovation cycle along the entire life cycle. We must innovate with the brain in mind. The innovation cycle is how we mindfully turn painful failures into creative tensions necessary to power and drive us to invent and innovate. Failure, pain, and tension are the prerequisites to create innovative solutions that lead to growth. By contrast, the innovation life cycle is a disciplined process that starts with mindfulness and ends in mindlessness. Most of us are surprised to learn that all innovation must be born in mindfulness, but only becomes great through mindlessness. Harnessing the tension between mindfulness and mindlessness is the most difficult thing we will ever do. And this is where the innovation life cycle comes in. In the first phase of the life cycle, we mindfully discover failure and pain that create tensions that can only be removed through creative invention. We then incubate these potential innovations. Incubation is the second phase of the life cycle, to remove technical risks through prototypes and pilots. To turn an invention into something commercially valuable, we innovate the business model in the next phase we call acceleration. Ironically, all great ideas only become big commercial successes if we move beyond mindfulness and apply mindlessness in the final phase of the innovation life cycle we call scaling. This mindlessness, which seems to govern most activities of our lives and robs us of our creativity, ensures that we always get the same reliable outcome from our efforts, which is critical to our success. Albert Einstein was my inspiration as to how we should think about upcycling our minds to regain our creative genius by riding the innovation cycle and life cycle. Einstein was an avid biker, as am I, and he would frequently ride his bike to increase his mindful creativity. I'll tell you a secret that most people don't know. He invented the theory of relativity while riding his bike. I have seen that the problem with most of us, the 96% who have lost our creative genius, is that we too often are stuck mindlessly riding stationary bikes, doing the same thing over and over with mindless precision, but without mindful creativity. What we need to do is hop off our mindless stationary bikes and begin to mindfully ride mountain bikes to explore, discover, and invent. Only then can we incubate our new ideas on hybrid bikes, followed by accelerating them on our fast aerodynamic road bikes to deliver the innovative solutions that lead to success. So come upcycle your mind. You were born a creative genius and just lost it by mindlessly riding stationary cycles all your life. Hop on your mountain bike and ride the innovation cycle with me along the entire life cycle to become the creative genius you were born to be.